questions and answers. Time's moving faster and faster. Time will someday run out. Who knows, the time could be now. Time is a curious thing, interesting, fascinating, never lasting, always passing, forever changing, no escaping. Time, there's more questions and answers. Time's moving faster and faster. Time will someday run out. Who knows, the time could be now. Time, disintegration, dilapidation, decomposition, deterioration. Mutations do not gain information. There's limitations to adaptation.
I forgot to mute.
Things decreased,
Sorry.
not increased. Every day energy is released. Corrosion, corruption, infection. We cannot alter the course or direction. There's a start and there's a finish. Disappear in the end it will vanish. Demolished, destroyed, dismantled, annihilated, damaged and trampled. Wiped out like invasion, elimination, complete termination. Death is every life's destination. Someday we will feed vegetation. It's a sad situation, like we're trapped. Do you think there's a way to escape it? Something to take us between, to intervene like a time machine. Time, there's more questions and answers. Time's moving faster and faster. Time will someday run out. Who knows, the time could be now. Time, there's more questions and answers. Time's moving faster and faster. Time will someday run out. Who knows, the time could be now. Seconds and minutes, hours and days, weeks, months, years and decades. That's how we're trained to measure and gauge the passing of time to determine an age. Examine and reference the size and the quantity, length of an interval, passing consistently, constantly stopping and starting. Count all the numbers of ways that we're charting. Centuries, eras, and eons and periods, past to the present. It seems there's a myriad. Now to's to then, today will be yesterday. What hasn't begun will someday all end. We want something new, once we have it, it's you. We all search for fresh, but tomorrow we move to the latest and greatest is what we desire. But wait for a time and then all will expire. The young become old, repeating like seasons. While babies are born, others die of diseases. We think that we have all the answers to questions. Yet how can we understand all the dimensions? How can we verify all of the clues without missing something and being confused? We choose to ignore what we really don't know, and what man doesn't know he makes up on his own. Assume we could travel through time and through space and find out a way to use all of our brains. Will we then solve all our problems at last, or will we repeat in the future the things of the past? Time, there's more questions and answers. Time's moving faster and faster. Time will someday run out. Who knows, the time could be now. Time, there's more questions and answers. Time's moving faster and faster. Time will someday run out. Who knows, the time could be now.
Howdy, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? It's me, Boiler Room Radio, Mr. Jim Funky. Yes, I'm in North Arkansas. North Arkansas, up here in the Ozark Mountains. Little chunk of paradise. Love it here. Okay, we're going to move on with the show. I was so unprepared to come on here. I thought I was prepared, and then all of a sudden I started rolling live, and I was like, oh shit, I still only have my Skype up, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so we're underway. All right, so let me jump over here and start going through the Skypey thingy and getting everybody added in. Mr. Daniel Pratt, bing, he wanted to come on whether he was on the vape or not. David F. Town Bala, bang, get him added in here really quickly. Jump down the line, here's Lance Musser's all lit and ready to go, holy cow. Bing, Skype Lance Musser. Lori's computer's on the fritz, so we'll skip over the top of her for this evening and jump down to Mr. Vaughn West. Wow, gonna have a full card tonight. Here we go. Where's everybody? There's only two of them ringing. What the hell? Dave and Lance are the only two that rang through, and it says unavailable. What the F, man? What the F, man? Retry. Why Skype do this every time? This is like, what, 3 shows in a row that Skype's done this? There we go. There's Vaughn.
Hello.
Howdy, Vaughn. And I got 3 other ones ringing. Hey, Lance picked up this time, second go around. Okay.
Hey, Lance.
I'm not going to bitch at Skype too bad.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, can now.
Hey, buddy. What's up, Bob?
There's Dan.
What's up, Lance?
Just watching the snow. Just watching the
How's
snow.
that icy snow, Lance? Icy snow on the beach, brother.
That's right.
Out in paradise.
Man, they closed everything today. No schools. It didn't even start snowing until 2:30 this afternoon. They had canceled school. I'm telling you, there wasn't a flake of snow on the ground anywhere till 2 o'clock, and they canceled schools at 5:30 this morning.
Well, yeah, man. They don't want you people to get slick and sliding around. You never know that ice was
Just
out
the
there.
threat of snow closes shit around here.
Hey, how's the Bitcoins going?
How's the Bitcoins?
Yeah, how's your Bitcoins going there, Lance? Aren't you glad you did buy into that?
Shit, man. I'm sure we'll get into that, but I think all the cryptocurrencies, I think this is their year, that's for sure.
Their year for what? That's
to drop.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, the last I saw, Bitcoin lost over half and then regained a little bit. So I don't know. We'll see where it all winds up. What's up, Dan?
Shit, they were talking about people taking out mortgages to buy it when it was at 20,000.
Yeah, stupids. Listening to them demons, man. Cliff High and his demonic computer shit.
Yep. Satan AI, #1.
Are you there, Dan? Are you still eating dinner?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you might have been chewing in between mutes and stuff.
Hey, Dan.
What's up, Vaughn?
How come I'm only there? Okay, let's see. I'm not seeing everybody yet. I only see 2 peeps. 2 peeps.
Yeah, it's me and Lance and Dan and you, and I'm trying to see where Dave's at.
It's not showing Lance. I'm seeing +2. Who's +2? Oh, that's saying +2. What a piece of crap.
Sometimes you got to open the screen all the way up to get it to
There we go.
run over there.
See how they play with me. AI, stop it, Brian. Knock you right out of their seat.
Yeah. Okay, so we're waiting for the news guy to jump on here. Anything you guys want to chat about while we're waiting? Oh, Charlie.
I worked up the hole knocked in the filament. They keep shooting these freaking missiles off. They're trying real hard. Kim right now is the highest winner. He shot the farthest. So Planet X, or whatever the hell they call themselves, are shooting some. So they're trying real hard to knock that hole in there.
You think that's let's talk about that for a minute. Dan, you sent me to that video talking about what is it, SpaceX's Falcon X or whatever, Falcon 2.5. Falcon Heavy.
7.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Dave?
Got a shower.
That's nice, man.
You really think that it's capable of going up there? And we were talking. Well, you never really responded, I don't think. But I said something about Operation Fishbowl. They were shooting nukes up there, trying to blow holes in the firmament, and they couldn't get the job done back then. So, but do you really think we're capable of doing it?
I don't know, to be honest. That's why I was asking for your opinion.
What's the supposed payload?
I think there may be connections, with as far as what he's thinking, why things are correlating. But yeah, I'm just not sure, unless it was some kind of directed energy shit or something that we don't know about. Yeah, it's hard telling.
Is this this Falcon Heavy? Is this the one that's supposed to carry his car up into outer space or to Mars or wherever the fuck it's going? Is this the one that's supposed to do that?
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing he's shooting them off into space because they don't run worth a shit down here on Earth. So catching fire, batteries exploding. I'm sorry, Vaughn. Go ahead.
Look at where they've been centrally shooting these rockets. Okay, now you got to look at the flat Earth, look at the dome, and look exactly how they've been shooting California, Florida, Korea, and I don't know if Russia and China's been in on this game, and who else may have been on this game. I know there's been some coming out of Syria and Iran, and everybody's claiming they're shooting rockets. Could it possibly be biblically that they were able to break through the filament and make the stars fall.
That's another thing that I had a question about. I don't know about all the stars spilling out and all that stuff either. I mean, the flood, supposedly, that's what you look up and see the Milky Way. Supposedly, that's the tear that God tore into the firmament to let the waters come out for the flood the first time to wipe out all the Nephilim and stuff. But, you'd think that if we were trying to bust a hole in it, we'd be shooting them off from Antarctica because it'd be a shorter shot. You know what I mean? As far as like the dome goes way up like that, it'd be a shorter shot on the edge.
Well, but if you were building something in a dome, it would be like a stadium. Wouldn't you want your heavier supports at the base and then get thinner at the top with a lighter weight you want it?
It's God we're talking about. He can make it as thick as he
I'm just looking at it as a man.
Right. So, I don't know. Maybe we can jump into it later on in the show when we start rabbit holing or stuff after the second hour. What's up, Dave? Jump over there to you and say howdy and all that good stuff. You jumped right into the middle of a rabbit hole, so hope you didn't fall too far.
Hey, Dave.
We might have scared him off already. What's up, Dave?
He just got out of the shower.
Hey, what's happening?
There we go. Jumping over to you, man.
Off a little before 9. I got to go pick my wife up from work, so.
Oh, right on. Well,
then I'll be back. I'll be back after that, though. So.
All right. Let's jump into it then. What do you got on your big stack of stuff?
Well, let me see here. Well, I guess you could talk about what's going on with Turkey here in the Kurds. Erdogan's fixing to go and slaughter the Kurds, and we came out and told Turkey that go ahead, we don't give a shit about them anymore. They serve their purpose. Go ahead and wipe them out. And, and people wonder why, why the world hates us. This is the exact reason. The Kurds have been nothing. When I was in the military, they were nice to us over in the 80s. They took care of us in the first Gulf War. They took care of us in the second Gulf War. We had R&R over in Rostov and all that over there with them. And they've been nothing but nice to us. They fought for us against ISIS. They fought for us against other people. The women there are tougher than nails. And yet here Erdogan's massive tanks, troops, you name it. He said he's got 149 targets he's fixing to bomb from the air over in northern Syria and parts of Iraq. And we're playing a double-edged sword here because the rumor is we've gave them anti-tank missiles and anti-aircraft missiles. Now, that's just rumor. You don't know. Erdogan came out and says that we need to break away from them. We came out and told Erdogan we don't have nothing to do with them. They fought ISIS, they got rid of ISIS, and now we're with our own group, SDF, Syrian Democratic Forces, which they're Kurds too, but they're not the YPG, which Turkey considers a terrorist group. And so
weren't they the only ones over there fighting ISIS for a little while?
Turkey came out and told NATO even said, I'm going to destroy these guys. And NATO and America seem to be ready to cut these Kurds loose after everything they've done for everybody, not just us, but other NATO nations. And they're fixing to die. And, they're saying, well, we'll stand up as long as we can. And they're begging anybody to come help them. I mean, I could understand why. Turkey's, it's got a massive military, man. But,
with the third largest in NATO?
Yeah, third or fourth largest in NATO. And so, this is a prime example of what America does. We go in, we get these groups, we train them, we arm them, then we leave them to fucking die. And tell them we have their back, and then when the time comes, we take off the other way. This is exactly why the world hates us, man. And it's a sad shape of affairs. It really is, man. And one day soon, we're going to meet our fate. America's going to be fucking vaporized. We really, truly are.
I think it's a lot sooner than anybody thinks right now.
And it's going to happen. Whether you believe in the Bible or not, we can only be the bullies of the world, which we are. And as much as I love this country, there's no other place I'd rather be. We're the bullies of the freaking world, and we're fixing to answer up to all the bullying we've done throughout the decades. Russia, China, all of them. are just going to team up and say, "Here you go, America."
I'm in love. I'm in love with what we
backed
stood
away
for.
from us.
You know, what we were originally supposed to be is what I fell in love with. That's the the patriotic shit in me. That's what it is. You know, truth, freedom, justice, the American way. You know, we all grew up with the superheroes and shit and G.I. Joe, and you know what I mean? I had no idea it was all over fucking oil and control of people and human sacrifice and you know what I mean? I was blind to all that shit. So shame on me.
You know, so we're going to meet our fate here one day soon, and you
demons,
know,
demons come back to get you.
As much as I hate that, it is what it is. You know, you just see the dirty pool that we play on the world stage,
right?
And the same thing's going to happen with North Korea. You know, we're going to get into something with them if you know, whether they want to or not. Let's
jump into the whole combined flag thingy, walking during the opening ceremonies, and they got some kind of taekwondo team they're going to throw across the border at everybody, and they're going to have coaches are going to collaborate a little bit on some of the other teams and whatever, but yeah, they're all going to dance around under the unified flag. They're
going to bring in like a 2,000 woman dance squad, the best looking women in North Korea.
A unified Korea, everybody. Behold.
And, you know, I see this two separate ways. You know, I see it where, you know, I can see where President Moon of South Korea wants to be friends with North Korea. Like I said, they're family. We've talked about that a number of times.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. A lot of them are separated by a fence and a DMZ.
You know, and you can see that, but I mean, you know, I don't know. You know, our theory is he's making nukes to aim at us, and he's going to fire on us one day, which I still don't believe he ever would unless we fired on him first. You know, Trump did an interview today with Reuters.
Not unless China told him to.
Well, it could be. You know, Trump did an interview today with Reuters, and he came out and said that Kim Jong-un is like a very, very hard game of poker. He said that basically we've kicked the can down the road with North Korea, and there's no more road to kick it down. That our ultimate end game with North Korea is them to get rid of their nukes, and these talks mean nothing. That this is just buying time. You know, Japan's come out, their prime minister there, and he sounded the alarm saying, you know, this is bullshit what's going on with South and North Korea. North Korea's playing everybody. And we came out and we agreed. And we said, yeah, we know he is. So the war is still on the table. I think it'll go down if it goes down, but if it'll be after the Olympics. It'll be toward the end of March, beginning of April, because we're not going to want to be known as the ones that ruin the Olympics for the world. So we'll hold off till the Olympics unless Kim does something stupid, which I don't think he will during the Olympics. There's too many people around, too many militaries are going to be off his coast. You know, he'll wait till the Olympics are over, then he'll wait for the Paralympics to be over, which is at the end. It starts at the end of the regular Olympics, and that goes like until the end of March.
Well, wait. I mean, during the Olympics, if all these boats are going to be floating around off the coast, man, if he was some kind of dangerous rogue dude, wouldn't he throw one out there and set it off over the water and just, you know, nullify that entire fleet out there with an EMP?
Well, he's not a dangerous rogue dude. So
right, that's what I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there, you know, playing devil's advocate like Lance does so often and well.
You know, we're going to have like I said, we're going to have the Carl Vincent's on its way and its battle group.
Isn't that the oldest boat in the fleet?
What's that?
Isn't the Carl Vincent the oldest boat in the fleet? Or which one's got the oldest flight deck? Which carrier group?
I'm not for sure. I think
one of them was ready to mothball or something. Anyway, go ahead. I was just thinking Gulf of Tonkin.
Anyway, you know, Japan's going to have some ships floating around over there. Britain's going to have a ship floating around over there.
The Philippines.
Well, you know, it came out tonight. Where's that at here? There's going to be a massive defense drill going down here in the next couple of days. South Korea, America. They said more than 2,000 Army Special Forces, Marines, and other combat troops will conduct a large-scale exercise to beef up security for the Olympics. The training organized by the 1st Army Command and held later Thursday, which is coming up, will involve a number of Army helicopters, drones, military dogs, air defense aircraft, as well as CBR rapid response team and explosive hazards clearance team. The drills will focus on establishing a watertight and perfect defense posture to help guarantee the successful hosting of the Olympics. This says the Olympics will take place from February 9th to the 25th at 2 towns in South Korea, and then followed by a 10-day Paralympics, which will kick off March 9th. So they're going to be staging these drills here starting in a few hours in South Korea, under the guise of they're practicing to protect the Olympics. What else here with this? This came out today. It says on North Korea, Chief of Staff John Kelly says the Trump administration has kicked the can down the road. The problem is there's no road left. It says North Korea cannot have a nuclear arsenal. Asked on special report if there'll be war with North Korea, the retired general says, I hope not.
These people, man, I tell you what.
What else here?
Gee, I hope not. We spent all this money on all these weapons and stuff. I hope we don't have to use them.
And then Chief of Staff Kelly was asked, it says, asked if President Trump has spoken to Kim Jong-un. Kelly said he prefers not to say, but there are open channels to communicate with North Korea. Which, that's always been true, whether we've actually, I don't think Trump's talked to him.
Hell no.
They just won't come out and say, Trump, I don't know. I don't think he's talked to him myself.
No, he probably said, hey, Moon, when you talk to the fucking fat kid across the fence, tell him this. Tell him I said this. My button's bigger than his button.
Yeah. Well, North Korea came out and responded
to him through Twitter
2 weeks after Trump said that, and they called Trump a lunatic and a fool, and and basically his
hit that nail right on the head.
Yep.
Go ahead, man. Sorry.
The USS Wasp has arrived in Japan to join forward deployed naval forces. It's an amphibious assault ship LHD-1.
Full of Marines. Itching to kill somebody.
It completed a 28,400-mile journey from Norfolk, Virginia that began in late August. What else here? It says Wasp, which has undergone significant upgrades to be able to land and launch the U.S. Marine Corps' F-35B Joint Strike Fighter, will replace the USS Bonham as the forward deployed amphibious assault ship in the 7th Fleet. So it's going to be able to handle the F-35B. And like I said, that's forward deployed in Japan. So if there is a war in North Korea, that ship will be used in it. What else here with this? Very possible the North Korea crisis can't be resolved peacefully, Trump said. It says it's very possible the standoff with North Korea might not be resolved peacefully. Donald Trump has said in an exclusive interview with Reuters and that he is not sure if talks will lead to anything meaningful.
Wouldn't Tillerson or somebody... I'm sorry.
What's that?
Wasn't Tillerson or somebody playing odd man out again, going against everybody else?
Yeah, they had a big meeting in Canada yesterday, a bunch of NATO nations and it was funny is the main people that were invited to this meeting in Canada were all nations that supported the first Korean War.
France, England, the US, Canada. Who else was there? South Korea. Who else was there? Japan.
China and Russia was not invited.
Imagine that.
Tillerson said
I bet they didn't invite Iran either, did they?
Well, Tillerson said after this meeting was over, which I think was today, I think it was a 2-day meeting, he said he was going to give transcripts to both Russia and China to let them see what we talked about.
After they're completely redacted.
Yep, exactly.
Hey,
but
Dan,
they were mainly
they're asking
that
about you
were in support with us in the first Korean War, so that's pretty interesting.
Dan, I don't know if you can see the chat or not, but S&S was asking for you in the room there. Wanted to know if you were here.
Anyway, Trump said, he came out and said in this interview with Reuters, said, I'd sit down with Kim Jong-un, but I'm not sure that sitting down will solve the problem. He says, I'm not sure that talks will lead to anything meaningful since they've been going on for over 25 years now.
Why don't you give it a shot, for Christ's sake? Go ahead, Dan. Jump in there and let everybody know you're still breathing.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just listening along and cooking while Dave's talking. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
All right, what else we got with North Korea here?
Why don't they try sitting down? You know, I don't think there's ever been any legitimate, hey, man, you know, sticking a hand out and trying to shake her, you know, shake little Kim's hand. You know, I'm from the U.S., and I'm not Dennis Rodman.
Well, you know, John Bolton came out again, the unofficial advisor to Trump.
Warmonger. Sorry.
Huh?
Warmonger.
Oh, yeah, big time. And, you know, he's Fox's number one war host on there when they want to hear war, and they bring this dude on.
Well, I used to be an ambassador, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Sorry.
He came out and said today, says the U.S. must make tough decisions to stop North Korea before they cross the nuclear finish line.
Everybody be scared to death.
All right, after this big, you know, to-do in Hawaii with the false missile alert, all of a sudden we announced today that Hawaii is going to test a new missile interceptor. It says a groundbreaking missile defense test is expected soon on Kauai that has ramifications for the defense of Hawaii from North Korea ballistic missiles. It says the U.S. Missile Defense Agency is expected to fire Raytheon SM-3 Block 2A, an enhanced capability missile co-developed with Japan, from the Aegis Ashore Test Facility to Pacific Missile Range Facility. The missile's anticipated to target a Mach intermediate range ballistic missile, but the agency said in June that the SM-3-2A could add another layer of defense to Hawaii for intercontinental range North Korean missiles. It says the government owns 666-foot Pacific Tracker. Imagine that, 666-foot Pacific Tracker.
Oof.
Which has long-range, high data rate telemetry processing systems, was docked next to a Loa tower on Monday. The Kauai test comes at a time of heightened awareness of North Korean capabilities following Saturday's false alarm ballistic missile warning. It says, I am still a staunch believer that Hawaii is underdefended, and maybe what will be tested at Barking Sands is the answer to our problems. An answer to the many prayers that went up all over Hawaii on January 13th, said Representative Gene Ward.
Hey, hang on. Let's back the truck up for just a second. What is the WASP again that showed up over in Japan today? Is it a guided missile destroyer?
No, it's an amphibious.
Oh, that's right. Amphibious. Okay, for a land assault.
It carries Marines, beach assault.
Yeah. I got it. Okay, go ahead.
And handle the F-35B. All this goes together, everything, and.
They can't fly the F-35B over there because it can't fire missiles or anything. All it's got is guns. You know, they haven't developed the software yet for fire. But anyway, I digress. Go ahead.
So you got that going on. This was the big one today. Trump came out today and he went against Putin for once. And he came out and he accused Russia of helping North Korea evade sanctions. President Donald Trump told Reuters on Wednesday that Russia is helping North Korea get supplies in violation of international sanctions. Trump said Pyongyang is getting closer every day to being able to deliver a long-range missile to the U.S. The president would not say whether the United States has been considering a limited preemptive attack. But President Donald Trump said on Wednesday Russia is helping North Korea get supplies in violation of international sanctions. And says Russia is not helping us at all with North Korea. Says what China is helping us with, Russia is denting. In other words, Russia is making up for some of what China is doing. And so, you know, Trump came out today and said, "Listen, Russia, we know you're fucking us around on North Korea. We're sick of it. China's trying to do what they can, but you're reversing everything China's doing by, you know, because China's cutting off the oil pretty much, whereas then Russia's turning around and bringing it back into them." I think China and Russia's working together.
Do you think for 1 second that Russia is going to let anybody board their boats and check them out and all that shit like they're thinking about doing to blockade?
No.
I don't see that happening.
That came out yesterday that at this meeting in Canada, one of the main subjects is to bring little Kim to the table and give up his nukes is to do a naval blockade on him. Mm-hmm. They said if we start checking his ships and stop stuff from coming in, this will force little Kim to come to the table and give up his nukes, which is the biggest pipe dream I've heard in my life. If anything, it's going to infuriate him even more. And they know this. They know if they pull this naval blockade out, it's going to be the beginnings of the war.
Yep.
They know this. And the deal is that they want to be able to board any ship they want at any given time that they suspect of carrying UN contraband, such as oil, such as food, such as whatever, and go in there and confiscate it, make sure it doesn't make its way to North Korea. I mean, South Korea has already confiscated, 2 ships over there.
And the crews, did they ever let the crews go back? The Chinese?
I've never heard.
Yeah, see, just makes you wonder if it really happened, right? Or if it was just propaganda headline. Because I don't know about you, but I would think that, whoever had the boat and whoever, the families of the crew members and stuff would be all up in arms and being on the, the Twitter thing and the Facebook thing and, jumping all over social media saying, send my boy home, please. I don't want him pawn in the war.
Well, anyway, this went on here, and it says, Western European security sources told Reuters in late December that Russian tankers had supplied fuel to North Korea on at least 3 occasions in recent months by transferring cargoes at sea in violation of international sanctions. Russia has denied breaching North Korea's sanctions. North Korea relies on imported fuel to keep its struggling economy functioning and also requires oil for its intercontinental ballistic missile and nuclear program. Trump has repeatedly blamed a U.S. investigation and whatever, going to that. But anyway, they're saying that Russia's giving them oil.
Shame on you, Russia. Russia, Russia, Russia!
There was another false missile report put out yesterday on NHK, which is a Japanese government news agency.
Yeah, they got their own YouTube channel.
Yep, Japan came out, the government came out and told NHK not to repeat the false missile attack alarm again or they'll be shut down.
Well, they just did one in fucking Japan today or yesterday, Vaughn.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, I got you. I thought they were talking about the one over here where some guy elbowed the fucking screen.
No, it was their state news NHK, and they broadcast it, and that there was a missile coming in, and they retracted it within minutes, so they didn't wait 38 minutes to do it. They did, like, as soon as they put it out, they turned around and said, oh, that was an accident. Yeah. But Japan got pissed and said, if you do that again, we're going to shut you down.
Oops.
So that's mainly what's going on with North Korea, I think what else here is really big. This Turkey stuff is really big, and with the Kurds. I mean, this is going to be the biggest military intervention into Syria since this war began over there. And of course, Putin gave Russia permission, or gave Erdogan permission to do this. Erdogan had to get Russia's permission to do this build-up and to cross the border, and Putin gave him permission.
Yep.
And in a way, this is probably
payback
from Putin for everything we've done over there.
They've been practicing, brother. Did you see what they were doing today? They were doing touch and goes on fucking on rural roads and shit.
Yeah, right next to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what's coming here.
Oh, fucking A, dude.
Everybody
and
knows.
It's so close you can taste it now.
Well, I thought this was really interesting. Talk about that. We'll skip to that real fast here. Let me find this here.
Watch the clock, too, man. You only got about 15
right here.
minutes.
Sweden today distributed 4.7 million leaflets on how to prepare for war with Russia.
I saw that, too, yep.
It said Sweden is reportedly preparing to issue a public information manual on the best way to deal with the prospect of war, as talk rages over an apparent rise in the unrest from Russia. The brochure, which will be sent to 4.7 million households, will tell the public how they can take part in total defense during a war and secure food, water, and heating. It said it is titled If Crisis or War Comes, and will also provide expert guidance on the best way to deal with threats from cyber attacks, climate change, and terrorism. The brochure comes after Russia's annexation of Crimea and continued support for Ukrainian separatists, which has sparked deep concerns within Sweden. It says, despite being traditionally neutral, the country has reportedly begun to reverse deep-seated post-war defense cuts, and discussions have begun over whether to join NATO after Russian planes and submarines entered Swedish territory, as well as holding war games, which involved 19,000 Swedish personnel. 2017 saw Sweden reintroducing conscription, which is the draft.
Really?
Yep.
I can't see that shit happening, dude. Really?
Yeah, really. It did happen. Wow. It says, all of society needs to prepare for conflict, not just the military. We haven't been using words such as total defense or high alert for 25 to 30 years or more. So the knowledge among citizens is very low, claimed Christina Anderson, the leader of the project at the Swedish Civil Contingencies Agency.
Damn, I want you to, oh my God, everybody needs to pay attention to what Dave's just saying.
People know it's coming.
Yeah, everybody needs to pay attention to what Dave's saying right now, man, because I don't think I have ever in my life heard Sweden get, okay, go ahead, keep going, man, sorry.
That's since Germany in World War II.
Right.
That's why they were all trained as soon as they got out of school after the war. Everybody in Sweden has a firearm.
Oh yeah,
by the door.
They're like the United States. They don't take shit for granted at all. All right, keep going, Dave. That's just mind blowing.
When it comes down to defense, your gun is your best defense.
Fuck.
So they brought back the draft. They're having military drills now. It ain't a question of if this war is coming. It's a question of when. And I've been talking about it for 10 years. It could happen tomorrow. It could be another 10 years. It just seems every time it gets close, something kicks it down the road. It's whenever the elite want to pull the trigger on this is what it comes down to. But everybody is full aware that it is coming.
Right.
And like I said, if people think that we're going to walk away from North Korea, that's not going to happen. My prediction is right after these Olympics are over, all hell's going to break loose. Because even though North Korea is sitting down and talking with South Korea, and there may be good tensions involved on North Korea's side, I don't think so. I think it's a stall tactic myself, too. But North Korea wants to reunify the Koreas. But
yeah, that's what blows me away, dude. The whole one flag thing at the Olympics. That's in front of the entire world.
Reunify the Koreas, but in a way that little Kim is running the whole show.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's in front of the whole world that they're showing. Hey, the Koreas are unified.
And little Kim throws.
Is there any kind of biblical shit to that? I wonder.
Well, little Kim is not a dumb guy, and this shows it. He had this in his pocket the whole time.
We've been saying that.
If I can throw a unification flag out there, if I can team up with South Korea, this is going to make America look absolutely like the biggest asshole in the world.
Since Trump started all of his shit with him a year ago, we've been saying this is Kim Jong-un is no slouch. What the fuck? Oh. He's no slouch. He's not. He's foreign educated. He didn't just pop out of nowhere, right? He's been all over the world on vacations and stuff like that. He speaks a couple of different languages. He's no dummy. So,
do we have any show of him moving troops to these Olympics? If he's moving any military troops to the Olympics, you can kiss the American military goodbye. He's going to force them out of the country. This is a coup. This is a South Korean coup.
You can bet
during World War II. It's a playbook.
You can bet that the United States is probably going to vet every single body that comes across that border, man, and find out if they're military personnel or not. If there's some kind of plant or whatever. I don't know. I'm just guessing that, but. The showing the unification flag in front of the entire world right before all this other shit kicks off just makes me shake my head.
Well, little Kim wants to bring in a bunch of these athletes, not all of them, but some of them, through two different borders, and one of them hasn't been used since the Korean War. And so he wants to show the world that he's really trying, and he wants to make history with this. And the deal is, like I said, I don't believe he would ever nuke us unless we nuked him first. If he could even reach us with a nuke, I have my doubts about that.
I'm pretty sure if China gave him the missile, that he could do anything he wanted to with it.
You know,
Because the technology's coming from somewhere, dude. It's coming from somewhere.
I mean, I think, as you said, he's an educated guy, and the deal is he has to know, no matter whether China has his back or not, he has to know that if he launches a nuke, he's going to be a glowing green spot. And I think he's smart enough to know that. And so this is why I believe when he says my nukes are in the defense to keep America out of here, because he looks back at our past history of what we've done, and I believe that. I don't like the guy. I put him on the same level as Trump. I don't like either one of them. And so, if this war happens, it's going to be because we want his $10 trillion in rare earth minerals he's got in his backyard. And
I got to say one thing about that border. Right now, part of that border is being controlled by South Korea. Okay, now if there's an allegiance being made with North and South Korea behind America's back, who's going to stop them? Hell, we can't even keep the Mexicans out of our country. Really? Come on, guys. Let's get to a reality here. That handful of guys ain't going to stop a bunch of people coming.
Well, if we were really upset with South Korea making, this whole thing with these talks that have been going on with South Korea, they've had like 4 or 5 rounds of talks now the past week, and it's all been over the Olympics. Now, one of the talks has been over him getting rid of his nuclear weapons. And this is America's MO, and this is why we're saying that these talks don't mean shit, because none of them have been over him giving up his nuclear weapons. They've all been over the Olympics.
They don't mean shit to the U.S. because the U.S. didn't initiate them. They were organic. They came out of nowhere. So that's the whole reason that we ain't got our administration's not going, hey, good job, guys. You got it settled yourselves. No, that ain't the way that's
Trump supporters. I was on a forum today that's full of Trump supporters, and I'm not, going to knock them all, but they were all, when Trump is talking his fire and fury, they're like, yeah, go fucking bomb his ass. And now that they're talking and Trump took credit for it, Trump's a peacemaker. Look at him. It was his tough talk that brought them together.
Look, the wind's blowing the other way. Oh, yeah.
That's the way these Trump supporters are acting. Now they're patting him on the ass. Oh, your tough talk brought these talks on. There's peace forever now.
Yeah, buy them another beer there, bartender. They're all right.
This is what I have a problem with some of these Trump supporters. They're just so fucking delusional.
Yeah. Back to Vaughn's point. Do you think anywhere in the back of your mind that North Korea would try an invasion?
No, not during the Olympics?
Yeah. When they were opening the gates to let all the people come across and shit.
I think Little Kim's playing some cards, and his cards are to make it look like he's a peacemaker.
Well, what I understand, when the president of South Korea first took his position against America, he wanted their asses gone. Now, if him and Little Kimby boys gotten together, this won't be an invasion. This will be here's your peak, here's your rent is due, and your shit ass is gone. Get your fleet, get your men, and get the hell out of my country. And that's how it'll flow.
When do you think that they're going to do that? Right after the Olympics is over with? Saying, hey, since you're over here picking up all your athletes, why don't you take all the fucking missiles and shit and get the fuck out?
Well, at the time, they'd already be set in place, wouldn't they, Dave? I mean, if you were going to make that move, would you not make that move?
Listen. Let me talk this out. Let me talk this out a little bit. And then when the world comes back and goes, they can say, hey, look, we were flying the unity flag. We've, for weeks we've been with each other talking and doing athlete shit and blah, blah, blah. And everything's copacetic, man. So we're done with all this crap. The DMZ's coming down tomorrow afternoon, and get the fuck out.
Well, like I said, Little Kim, there's even been talk of him going out there that first thing that North Korea wants, that Kim wants, is for South Korea to completely distance themselves from us. They're trying to tell South Korea, you don't need America no more. You got us. You don't need America no more. And so we need you to stop having military drills with America. They've come out and said that. And we need you to stop them completely. You need to show us some good faith. Little Kim's like, I'm showing you some good faith, President Moon. You need to show me some good faith. And your good faith would be to break away from America and to stop having drills with them.
Well, it's all the same continent. It's all the same damn people. Just because they put that little zone line up there and call them north and south, that's like
East and West Germany, man. I mean, it's the same deal.
Yeah.
There was families cut in half when all that shit happened, and we were talking about that earlier in the show. You know, he tried reaching out back then when he allowed the gates to come open for a little while so the families can get to, you know, talk to one another for the first time in years. So, yeah. You know, Little Kim's the kind of guy. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
He wants South Korea to completely part ways with us, which I don't see that happening. No matter how liberal Moon is, and maybe know how bad he wants to reunify, I don't see that happen. We won't allow that to happen.
See, and we've talked about this on the show before too. Lil Kim is the kind of guy that bought his whole entourage that hangs out with him on a daily basis. A couple of years back, he bought them all Rolexes, man. You know, he's not a real shitbag kind of fucking, no, that's my sandwich kind of guy. You know what I mean? That's just, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't personally know the motherfucker.
Just kind of like Trump does.
Right.
He demands loyalty, and if you don't show him loyalty, he'll stick your ass on a mortar
underneath the fucking mortar round, yeah.
Fucking dogs.
Right.
So what you're saying that there's no possibility that we'd allow it. What are we going to do? Are we going to attack South Korea and North Korea at the same time, Dave?
Gulf of Tonkin.
You know, well, there's no way that we'll
gotta go.
There's no way we'll break away from South Korea. We won't have it. You know, we're like the psycho girlfriend. We're like, you ain't leaving me.
No. Don't believe that for a moment. Don't believe that for a moment.
What'll happen? There'll be some kind of.
South Korea is our staging post for war against China.
There will be some kind of Gulf of Tonkin incident. We'll launch a fucking sub-based missile and say it came from a fucking Korean sub, a North Korean sub, and blame it on them, and it'll impact somewhere in South Korea, and then we'll get South Korea on board with us, and then let's kill the motherfucker. You know, that's the way that goes.
Well, so. Dave said the key word there, China. Who do you think would be paying
none of this
move to get rid of the damn Americans out of South Korea?
None of this is going
to see that shit go down.
Oh, shit, I'm talking loud.
Oh, and Russia would too.
None of this is going to take place without China say so. I'm sorry, I was talking way loud. Sorry. New mic.
You know, the whole point is we're not going to leave South Korea's side. We'll, you know, we just built a $2 billion base over there south of Seoul. And so we're not going anywhere, whether South Korea would ever want us to or not. Who knows? You know, that Moon is the biggest liberal there is. He's right up with Trudeau of Canada. And he's under a false guise that Little Kim has the best intentions in mind, which he does. And I'm not saying he's a stupid guy. I don't know much about him. I know he's a big fucking liberal, and he's been wanting peace with North Korea for a while. But the deal is, it's like if you're wanting to be friends with somebody so bad, you start selling out your morals, you're going to get fucked up.
The reason Trudeau wants peace with North Korea is because he finds Little Kim sexy.
Well, I'm talking about, you know, the president of South Korea, Moon, and the deal is this dude is trying too hard. You know, Moon is willing to sell out his people and his morals just to keep a war from happening over there. This is why Moon's doing this, and I can, to an extent, understand. But on the other hand, you can't be so complacent that Little Kim has South Korea's best interest at heart, because I don't believe that they really do. You know, Little Kim wants to unify the Koreas, but under his flag and under his name.
You got to remember, 30% of their population was killed in a 3-year campaign in North Korea and America, during the Korean War. Mm-hmm. Do you not think for one moment South Korea ain't got wind of that shit too? They don't want to be involved in anything that America is intending to do, because they're going to be part of that. In other words, if they're willing to take out 30% of their population, how many do you think they're willing to take on South Korea? You think for one moment they ain't going to kill those people there too? It was casualty of war. Bullshit. I tell you what, Kim and Moon got some shit going on there against America. I guarantee you.
And David Howard in the room said the exact same thing I was thinking a long, long time ago, man. It's their country. Let them deal with it. Let them hash it out. You know, but here's the thing, Moon, David.
All right, we're pulling our 24,000 troops out of here. We're shutting our bases down. You're on your own, Moon.
No, because of the $10 trillion worth of fucking shit in the ground over there. No.
Yep.
We'll never leave.
Well, this is another. Let me say this before I have to take off here real fast. We're moving six bombers, six B2s.
Mm-hmm.
or it's not 6B2, what do you call them? B-52s. We're moving 6 B-52s to Guam. We've got every single type of bomber, nuclear bomber we have over sitting in Guam right now.
We've already got 2 B-2s that went over there just last week.
Yeah. And now we're moving 6 B-52s over there.
Yep.
We just moved over we just deployed a tactical communications scrambling plane to the Korean Peninsula that can do cyber attacks. It's a communication plane, and we can scramble North Korea's messages to their troops and everything else over there. So we're building up for this. And
right.
I'm telling you, after the Olympics, I think it's going to be shit city.
Yeah. All right, man. Everything else, we'll put it on hold, and when you get back from getting your wife, we'll pick up where you left off.
All right. I still got about 2 minutes here. I can stay on. So.
All right. You ain't got to poop nothing.
Nah.
Well, let me throw this out there. The way I'm seeing this, and I'm sure half the people that are listening right now are not convinced that we need to have anything to do with messing with North Korea or South Korea. So therefore, the battle that they're predicting is a battle within themselves in their own freaking heads, okay? Because the reality is, it sounds to me like North Korea and South Korea want to get along, get back to being family, cut the border, and get back to families that have been apart for years and years. Who in the hell are we to stop that? Just because we want what they got. And are we going to be that? That just shows the world what kind of assholes we have controlling this country.
We are the United Empire of Earth, and we won't allow it because there's minerals in the ground over there, and there's people to control, and there's human sacrifice to be made, and we won't allow it.
And we want to get our tanks closer to China.
Right, because they're next.
Yep.
After Iran and all the other little squam.
Well, the deal is we go to war with North Korea, China's going to be instantly involved. You know, and like I said, they wouldn't be doing these they wouldn't be doing these, like that Hawaii. I don't buy that was an accident the other day. Japan, when they put out the announcement yesterday, this morning, I don't believe that was an accident either. They're conditioning the people that there's a nuclear war coming.
All right, here, let's throw this in here just really, well, shit, man. All right, hurry up, go get your wife, man. We'll talk about it when you get back. Hurry up.
All right, yeah, I'll be right. I'll be back in about 10, 15 minutes.
We'll probably still be discussing this topic because I'm going to jump to it anyway when you get back. So.
All right, I'll be back here in a minute, guys.
All right.
Be careful, Dave.
Yeah, drive safe,
I'll stay on the line here. I'll just mute my mic.
Drive safe.
Drive safe.
Okay, something got brought up in the room just a little bit ago, and I want to discuss it with all y'all because there's some things that are going around online about it, and it's kind of weird. So here we go. Ready? Even if you're not, here we go. There was a meteor that hit, I think, Michigan. Michigan? Was it Michigan last night? Early this morning?
Sure was. A big boom.
Yeah, and there was it followed, almost a minute something later. Dan, mute that shit, please.
Yeah. He fell down in the garage.
You all right over there, buddy? Okay, I think you got it muted up. Whew, that was loud. Hey, that's live radio. What are you going to do? So I've seen one clip. I've heard talk of several other ones, but I've only seen one, and it was the car on the highway that caught it on the dash cam. Actually, I saw another one that was some lady's backyard security camera, but all it showed was everything lighting up as it went over the top. It didn't show the meteor itself. But the one on the dash cam, it looked like a regular meteor, you know what I mean? It was just zipping across the sky and shit. It was kind of blue. It was cool looking, whatever, but it was just zipping across the sky. It didn't look. And then I read a couple of different posts, actually, that said that it came almost 90 degrees out of the sky, and when it hit the ground, it actually caused an explosion that was caught on film or a camera shot or what. I don't know if it was actually on film or something like that, but you saw these stills off of the film of the beam coming down out. There was still a blue streak in the sky where it came out of the clouds and a big fireball underneath it. And somebody put down in the comments that it was a rod from God. So I'm going to jump out at that right there, and we'll let the rest of you guys take off in the discussion, starting with Vaughn.
Well, what I saw, and this was then you could tell it was a porch, and you seen the flash and something descending into the ground from a distance because it came straight down, and then there was a big noise. Okay, and this was broadcasted on the newscasting. Okay, they talked about it, and what I gathered from that is this an awakening? Because we've had these coming and going all over here lately. Is this time for everybody to get ready because he's ready to cast the big ass one down, or what?
Dan, you want to chime in on that one at all?
I don't know, man. There's so much crap going on in the skies with. I don't even know. Obviously question. I doubt it's a meteor. But what kind of weapon, what for? Who knows? We could speculate all day, but I'd say 99% it was no meteor, but I have no idea what it was or what its intent was.
Did you have what all have you seen? Have you seen the video clips of the explosion with the blue thingy coming out of the sky?
No, I didn't. That's the first I've heard you talking about that. I saw some of the meteor activity. I saw the typical
the dash cam.
They're wiping the dumbs, and I'm wondering. So that makes more sense that you say that now, because I was wondering how a meteor would be used to wipe out dumbs. But
a rod from God. Yeah, I mean, if those things, I've never known them to be factual, and if it is, it's a satellite, and I really don't think there's satellites out there because I look up there all the time and I don't see them. But anyway, besides that, rod from God is like a big titanium telephone pole with a spike on the end of it. You know what I mean? That's weld down to a spike, and they drop them and just let gravity take over. Those things are supposed to be able to go 600 meters into the earth or some shit. Just, I don't know, man. I don't know if they make an explosion like that, though. I think they just make a big thump and a big hole. Lance, I see you.
The newscaster had a orange in his hand, and he said that, and in fact, the guy that was had actually done some slow footage of it. He was in like a studio, and he said he felt sorry that he couldn't have witnessed it live himself. He said that being the size of the orange and would it impact the earth. Now, I don't know just what they were talking about, because
they were talking about the size of a meteorite or whatever, orange. They always say that, that must have been the size of a golf ball, and you can see it from 5 states. Give me a fucking break, people. Anyway, no, a rod from God is the big titanium rods that they got on supposedly war satellites up there. Lance, go ahead.
No, I mean, I hadn't seen a whole lot about it. So, I mean, the 20-second news clip I saw on CBS News this morning said it was a meteor. And I mean, I never even looked into it.
There you go, people. CBS said it was a meteor. It had to be a meteor.
Oh yeah, I mean they didn't say anything more than 20 seconds on it. Meteor over the sky in Michigan or whatever it was.
I didn't even know that.
Boom. There's no way Trump is 6'3" and only 239 pounds. I mean that's what every story was. 20-second blurb and then boom.
Trump's caught another
Trump's
lie.
Doctor's wrong.
Yeah, he's got Alzheimer's.
We got Lance out there. Hey, we got another storm coming here. Probably the first of the week. It'll be your way by the end of next week.
Shit, it's still snowing here.
Yeah, he's getting all the shit I got a couple days ago.
Yeah, you're gonna get more because it's headed that way. I forget that. How come they're naming these storms now? All these snowstorms are being named. Isn't that crazy?
They started naming them about 5-6 years ago, something like that.
Oh no, they tell you if you call the American Meteorological, they'll say, we started naming them 25 years ago. Bullshit.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah, they never started talking about them.
It's to make them more personal,
but they never named them on TV.
It's to make them more personal and stuff, so that people get more feared.
So you're saying this is possibly now? Did you just say satellite was named that and threw this titanium rod down? Is that what you just said, Jim?
Yeah, they call
that's
them,
what a rod of God is.
Yeah, the rods from God. If you just type that in your search engine of choice, it'll take you to the website on Wiki or There's actually a bunch of different websites about them. There's a couple of videos on YouTube about them, how they were designed, and supposedly they've never been launched. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just saying it's out there. And it was brought up. It was brought up in the little blurb, the little article that I saw that had the still shots of the explosion and whatever on the ground. No. Mm-hmm. See, and if the national news didn't say anything about the meteorite hitting the ground and causing an explosion and fire, then where the fuck did all that come from?
Right.
Yeah, they didn't say a word about it.
See, so
it didn't happen.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm just saying that, some websites are pretty iffy. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I was looking for a biblical reason that happened, but if you're saying this is a man-made object that's actually got the ability to sling one of them bad boys down,
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying it was mentioned in the article that I saw. I'm not saying I'm not saying anything. The only video that I saw of the meteorite was the dash cam footage of the thing looking like a regular meteorite. And then down below that, it said that they didn't hear the boom until a full minute after the thing burnt out. So.
Well, here's the thing. I was sound asleep, or I should have been able to catch that, because if it happened up there above me, the light should have been bright enough that I should have had some response to the light from here, in
the dash cam footage I saw, it actually burned out in the air. You could see it burn out in the air. It got really fucking bright, and then it burned out. But the other thing that I saw said that whatever it was came all the way to the ground, and it was almost 90 degrees straight down. And then they showed this thingy with the blue light coming out of it and going up to the clouds and a big fireball underneath it. It could have been fucking Photoshop for all I know.
Well, that could have been a booster. What you see in the burnout was the booster, and it actually launched it even faster into the ground, and it then exploded. I don't know.
The rods from God don't have any boosters. They're just a titanium rod. They let gravity do them. When the gravity's pulling you, well, if you believe in gravity. Density. They let density do its trick. Titanium weighs a ton. And if it's the size of a telephone pole and it's coming down at you from way the fuck up there, it's going to do some damage when it hits the ground. Penetrator style.
Yeah, I had some titanium valves out of a diesel motor, the generator out of a destroyer.
That shit's hard as fuck.
They stood about 3 foot tall.
Yeah, that shit's hard as fuck too, man.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, let's jump into some rabbit hole shit until Dave comes back and does the headline crap. What do you guys want to jump into? Dan, I want Dan to pick the topic. I want Dan to pick the topic. He's got some stuff that he probably wants to get off his chest.
Oh man, put me on.
I'm sorry. You still trying to feed the kids, man? We can skip over you for a minute if you want.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Let me get this in the oven real quick, and then I'll.
Right on.
Jump in. Right.
All right. Go ahead, Vaughn.
All I was going to do is rattle back on the Bitcoin. That's an easy one to cover, and
I'm sure Lance has some input on that one too. So yeah, let's dive into it, man. It lost a ton today and yesterday. When the last time I looked at Coin Market Cap, I think is the site that I go to, coinmarketcap.com, and yesterday it was all red. You couldn't hardly find a green one on the board, man. Today there was some green showing back up, so. A couple of them were turning around a little bit, but yeah, it was still a lot of red on there today. I'm glad I'm not in it.
Go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying I'm glad I'm not in it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because those that did vest themselves in that, anything that they bought at the top, they've lost at the bottom. In fact, they've lost their ass.
Their ass is pretty puckered if they bought a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, buddy. Because a month ago, Bitcoin was only like 13,000 something. And then when it went up, like 20, and now it's down to 10 something? I don't know, man. There's a lot of people whose asses are puckering. And that's what I said. When this thing starts hitting the floor and people are running for the door trying to sell, where's all the fucking liquidity going to come from? It ain't going to show up. Y'all are going to be fucked like Chuck and stuck with a bunch of digits on a thumb drive that you better show up your ass.
And it happened. The big drop, I think, happened a couple days after Warren Buffett said it was coming. So,
yeah, there's people online that are poo-pooing all this shit. They're saying, "Oh, the second week of January, it always drops. It has for the last 5 years." Blah 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 blah. Look, people, you just don't get how it's run, man. You don't get who's running shit. Whatever.
I still think it's a possibility, though, that they're going to use the cryptocurrency, obviously, but they got to get rid of all the. They can't, like everything else. Once they seize control of it, they're not going to let a bunch of.
There's
people that made all the
1,400
money when it was a criminal money laundering scheme and got rich off of it. They got to snatch all that up first. So.
Yeah, but right now there's 1,400 and some odd different coins. There's no fucking way they'll let that keep going. Any Joe Schmo on the planet can start some crypto shit, and I got my own coin. No way the fucking banks are going to allow that. And people keep saying, well, it's decentralized. It doesn't have anything to do with the banks. In the end, it all does, because they run this bitch.
Exactly.
Let me throw you a funny one in here. Lewis has a repair shop in New York, right there on the main strip, and he repairs what's called Mac Apple products. Well, he received a Bitcoin, one of those mining deals. The one that's got all the parts to do the mining with, to do this Bitcoin crap.
Mm-hmm.
He received one of those to repair. And that's awful odd. That was just yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. And bingo, they started having problems. Could it be that guy had a hell of a lot of money tested into that? I don't know how that shit works, but it was kind of funny when I watched that, and then I heard about this Bitcoin problem. It was kind of ironic.
Well, the Bitcoin machines, I mean, I don't know. The only thing that I've seen of those Bitcoin mining operations is the one I saw. They had like 2 big banks of phones on the wall, and they were all tethered together, and they were using the software off of the phones to mine for I don't know, man. I don't know. I know it takes a hell of a long time to do it right now. There's a very limited number of actual Bitcoin that you can find on the blockchain, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know, and they're almost all found, right? So people are already saying that Bitcoin is going to be like another fiat currency because there's a limited amount of them, and only the rich motherfuckers can get them now. So there you go with that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this all pans out. I've been saying from word go, it ain't right. There's something ain't right about it. You guys are putting all this fucking energy and time into these little digits. Something ain't right about it, man. Something ain't right. Anyway, go ahead. That's my thoughts on it. I know there's some people over the last 48 hours that have lost their ass. And if it keeps going, if they keep going into the red, and the big coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin and Ripple and whatever the fuck else, if they keep going red, you're bound to see some motherfuckers taking their own lives because they just lost all of it. I got in at 10 grand. Yeah, fucked up.
How could anybody take it lightly if they lose $10,000 in profit that quick?
Well, that's what Lance was saying earlier, man. Some people were taking fucking mortgages out on their properties and shit to buy into this crap. What are they going to do? Oops.
Because, see, everybody's under the wrong impression. They think just because they spend $5, gain 15, they still got their $5. No, you don't.
No.
This shit's done.
No, yeah. If it goes below your get-in price, you're fucked.
That's right.
Yeah. You're going to, by the time you get them sold off, you're going to owe cash out of your pocket. It's just like stock market bullshit, You can put in, oh, well, I had a bottom set on the computer, and sorry, man, it didn't stop at that bottom, motherfucker. It went past it. Sorry. We sold out at the first chance we could. Sorry. So, yeah.
I think we lost Lance to the snowstorm.
No, he'll be back in a minute. There he is.
Join us again.
He probably spilled his bong or something on his keyboard and shorted it for a second.
No, the internet keeps going out, man.
Oh, go out there and smack the snow off the line coming to the house, man.
I ain't fucking going outside. Fuck that.
Hey, that's the way I felt for the last 2 days, man. It's been in like single digits shit around here. That ain't right. That ain't right. 5.5 inches of snow in one day. That ain't right. Go away. It's going to be in the 40s tomorrow, so now we'll have a big muddy mess for a couple of days. That's the way I like my winters, though. Just a couple of days at a stretch, and then it goes back up into the 50s.
Shit, I had to pull out my electric blanket. So damn cold.
Wow. Well, but don't catch fire, man. Got to keep those things...
It'd warm it up.
For the last time. All right. What else we want to talk about?
So what about old Warren Buffett being missing in action all of a sudden? Did you read about that?
Yeah, I heard that he got in some kind of yachting accident back before Christmas and didn't tell nobody about it. And he's been gone since then and just been sending out Tweety commands to all of his underlings and said that he's still going to be out for several more weeks recuperating from said yachting accident. And, yeah, he's just going to advise people over Twitter. Kind of sounds strange, doesn't it?
Well, there's several people now that has gone electronic, right, Dave? I mean, Dan? A lot of people have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and all these CEO resignations we're hearing about and all. Yeah, some people are convinced they're being shuttled to Gitmo. How do you know they're not going to these bunkers? So, I mean, I don't. Warren Buffett just all of a sudden now he's going to start sending his employees messages. Oh, yeah, I'm incognito. I'll just be sending out texts just like Julian Assange. When do you hear from him live anymore? You don't know who's sending out all this shit. So,
well,
I don't know. It's just another funny coincidence. All these people just going dark all of a sudden, and you're just getting tweets. And in this day and age, you're supposed to believe anything you're getting from these people?
Well, in reference to Julian Assange, supposedly he's going to be boots on the ground in the country of Ecuador shortly. And then things are going to change about that. So I don't know, man. Everything remains to be seen. I've heard some, I've heard some things that are, saying that he's behind the scenes with Trump and dropping fucking info on some of these pedophile networks and yada yada yada. So I don't know. And Trump's actually the one that negotiated him getting out of country without going to prison. Because he's been holed up in that fucking Ecuadorian embassy for years, man.
All right, I'm back.
What's up, Dave?
Just got in the door, man.
Right on, brother. Glad you made a safe trip. So with the break in the weather, you going to be able to fuck with your van?
I got the battery. I got a new battery put in it today, So whether that's the problem or not, I have no idea. I put this new battery in and let it run for 30 minutes, and everything stayed on. Nothing stopped.
I still think it's in the wiring, but we'll see what happens.
Because I've read some stories on that I was talking. It could be. And I'm not saying the battery's the answer. All I know is it's I've read some things where if your battery's also going out on you, your alternator has to work harder. And if that happens, then everything starts shutting down.
But alternators are supposed to have enough amperage to run the entire vehicle with no battery.
Yeah.
Theoretically, you should be able to put a battery in your car, start it, and then take the cables off the battery, take the battery out of the car, and let that sumbitch go. And you can run to the store and back.
Here's a crazy question. You said you could open the door and the radio was playing?
Well, this is the deal, The other day, I'll turn it on. It'll run for like 10 minutes as soon as it warms up, and it could be a relay too. I've read every time I read, I see something different. It could be. In the end, I'm going to have to take it somewhere if it happens again. But anyway, I turn it on, let it run for 10, 15 minutes, and all of a sudden everything will start shutting down. The ABS light will come on, the gauges will turn off, the radio will turn off, the heater will turn off, and then within a couple minutes the car will turn off.
Well, if it's like any of my vehicles, you're going to change the battery. And then then you'll find something else that's wrong, and then you're going to change that, and then you'll find something else that's wrong, and then you're going to change that, and then you'll find something else that's wrong, and then you're going to change that. And if you'd have changed that one in the first place, none of the other shit would have fucked up. That's usually the way my shit
under
goes.
My hood, I looked. I didn't pull them out completely. I kind of looked down to see if any of them looked burned out, and nothing looked burned. I looked at my serpentine belt and my alternator. It's fine. Nothing's been burning on that. My alternator in them, it's not making any sounds. I mean, I know the basic signs to look for if the alternator goes out, and
Right.
I don't see any of those signs. So it could be the ignition switch too, I've read.
Could be.
But the deal is, I don't know. All I know is I went out this morning. The other day, I went out yesterday, the day before, and the thing wouldn't turn over. It was so cold outside, the battery was just about dead. It had enough power to unlock the doors and turn the radio on, and that's about it, but it wouldn't turn over. So I go out this morning, put the key in, boom, starts right up. But then everything went dead on me again after about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I said, fuck it. So I took that battery out, put in the new one, and I let it run for 30 minutes straight. Nothing shut down, ran fine. But I didn't get a chance to drive it yet because I wanted someone here in case I took it somewhere and it broke down.
Did you buy an Optima?
Battery?
Yeah.
I don't know what type it is. And all I know is it cost me $100 and something.
The Optima's the little 6-pack looking deals with the round, red top, yellow top.
It wasn't an Optima. I know that much. I think it started. I don't know. I think it was an Exide or something else.
Well, Exide makes. Well, they used to anyway. They used to make pretty good batteries.
All I know is it cost me over $100. They gave me a $12 core return to bring my other one in and get $12 back.
Jeez, man, that's expensive as fuck. Because you're buying it at the worst time. If you got it in the spring or in the fall, you probably wouldn't have paid half of that. But 40 below temperatures, everybody's like,
price up on all that stuff.
Fuck yeah, yeah. How much were we selling them for a month ago? $80. Selling for $100.
I keep my car plugged in. Someone put that in the chat room. I keep my SUV plugged in at all times.
Yeah, you got to up there, otherwise you'll never start it.
But I will say
40
it's warm
below
enough. Right now it's above zero. Tomorrow it's supposed to be in the 30s, and Friday it's supposed to be in the 40s.
Yeah, we're supposed to get 60s by Sunday here. So all this fucking snow that's out there right now is going to be starting to go away tomorrow because it's supposed to get into the 40s tomorrow and then just keep climbing. Nice. It's the kind of I'm telling you, man, those are the kind of winters I can stand. It's a couple days at a time, and then you get a break, and then a couple more days at a time, and then you get a break. I can stand winter like that. If this global warming shit doesn't pan out, but they can keep it cycling like that through the winter, I'm cool with that.
Well, it's like I said, Friday's supposed to be 40, but then by next Wednesday it's supposed to be back down to 16 again.
Pneumonia.
This is a cycle we've been having. We've been having like 3 or 4 days of in the 20s, 30s, 20s or 30s, and then all of a sudden another cold front comes through for like a week, and then we go back up to 20s and 30s, and another cold front comes through. It's just been an endless cycle like that. We've had 3 Arctic blasts come through in the past month.
Strange shit, man.
They say there's more coming, so you may get more snow before winter's over down there.
Oh yeah, we still got 4 weeks of February to get through, and the last week of January. So, yeah, week and a half, whatever. About March, maybe mid-March-ish, it really starts to break around here and shit starts turning green and birds start singing because they're like, hey, the cold shit's gone. So, yeah. It's cool. I can handle it. My heater can't. It's fucked, I don't know.
Oh,
when it gets down into single digits, man.
You wouldn't believe.
Yeah. When it gets down to the single digits, because whoever hooked the heat up in this one only hooked up the 2 primary heat strips. They didn't even run amperage out for running the third one. So even when I switch it on to if it's down in the single digits, it just don't. 65 is max. So my house has been at like 65 for the last 3 days.
Well, this way, it's been so cold up here. We've lived in this house for over 10 years now, and usually a tow tank of fuel oil lasts at least a month, or at least a month and a half, sometimes longer. We've already gone through a whole tank of fuel oil in almost less than a month. It's so cold up here.
Wow.
Yeah.
How big is your tank? 500 gallon?
It's huge. It cost us almost $400 to fill that son of a bitch up.
Oh, I don't even know what price of. You're talking about LP.
$400 almost to fill that up, and like I said, usually it goes through a month. When you're a poor person like I am, $400 is like $4,000, man. And the deal is, like I said, we went usually a month and a half, and now we're like almost already. We just filled it up less than a month ago, and it's getting time to do it again.
And you're talking about fuel oil.
Yep.
Yeah. That's like the price of diesel and shit. It fluctuates with the market.
Well, they know it's cold too up here, so of course they're going to jack the prices up on their fuel oil.
Oh yeah, they try to pass it off. Like I used to haul fuel for a while. When I was back in my truck driving days, I used to haul fuel, and it didn't matter what fucking time of the year it was or whether we got it out of the same holding tanks every time. They stamp a little thing on the paperwork that said winter blend, summer blend. That was bullshit. It came out of the same motherfucking tanks. They don't blend gasoline. They sucker your asses into keeping the prices high. That's exactly what they do. And they tell you right there at the fucking pumps.
There's no humanity left.
We ain't got no goddamn mixing shit. The guys that run the plant tell you that. We don't mix shit. So, whatever. The people are sheep, dude. I mean, we've been sheep for 100 years. We were born into this. We had no fucking choice in the matter. Because I guarantee you, if I was given all the knowledge that I've picked up over the last decade, back when I was a kid, if they'd have kind of stuck it in there from time to time and let you know the truth, I wouldn't have fucking chose some of the shit I did. No fucking way.
Hey, do that sheep thing again. That was funny.
I'm not good at it because I'm not a.
Brendan's over here laughing in her chair at that one. That was a good one.
All right. What other headlines you got, man? And then we're gonna dive into another rabbit hole. Dan, are you done cooking over there, buddy? You still fucking around with the stove? Because I want to jump on a topic that you want to jump on before the night gets out. Just giving you a heads up.
Oh no, I'm good. Go ahead. Does Dave got stuff to finish?
Yeah, we're gonna do a couple more headlines, and but then I'm gonna come to you. I'm just giving you a heads up. So.
Right on.
Go ahead, Dave.
Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian president there, he came out today and gave an ultimatum to Trump. He said, choose between a Palestinian Jerusalem or war.
Oh, fuck.
This world is going into a stage of turmoil, man, with all the nuke talk, war talk from every direction, man. I believe we're seeing, like I said, I'm not a real religious guy, but I do believe in prophecy, man.
But there's supposed to be some kind of talk of peace, and there'll be a time of peace. I can't remember exactly how long it's supposed to be, but there's going to be a time of peace.
It's supposed to be 7 years.
Yeah, and then after that is when all shit fucking breaks loose.
I don't see any peace, man. Trump's not a man of peace.
No, because he's working for the cabal. No matter how many people think that he's the savior, God might be working through him a little bit here and there, but he still answers to the fucking cabal. If they want war, he's going to take us to war. He'll do it because he's told to,
Well, what's funny is Israel came out today, Netanyahu came out today and announced to the world that Jerusalem is going to be, our embassy is going to be in Jerusalem within a year. Trump came out shortly after that and said, you're full of shit. It's going to be longer than that.
Why isn't Netanyahu in jail?
Yeah. Well, two of his real close aides just went to jail today. Mm-hmm. So they're
why not him, man? Is he tossing people under the bus to keep his ass out of the pokey? Or what? Why,
but he's part of the cabal, though. He may not go to jail.
If he don't, dude, there's no justice, and the people over there will know there's no justice because half the country wants him locked the fuck up.
Oh yeah, they're protesting every night over there against him.
Yep. Just like they were here, right? People protesting against Hillary. Lock her up, lock her up. They were protesting against Trump. He's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot. But like you said, if they're part of the game, if they're a big player in the game, nothing happens to them, man. No, Hillary Clinton's still walking around. She might have her little boot on that's got her tracking device in it or whatever, but she's still out walking around with the rest of us. Bill Clinton's blowing his fucking lips off saying that he was the ones that got down there and saved Haiti after they stole $15 billion from him or whatever. It's just crazy, man. Crazy. These people got egos like nobody else, man. It's disgusting, actually. Sorry.
Well, they're the type of people that'll meet their fate on the other side. Maybe not on this side.
I want to see one of them. I want to see at least one swinging from a tree for treason. Just one. Just give me one. I'd like to see about 20 of them in handcuffs doing a perp walk and then eating sloppy food and running from Bubba for the rest of their lives and Gitmo, but I don't think I'm ever going to see that one. Just one of them I'd like to see swinging from a fucking tree.
Hey, this just came out, man.
Go for it.
Okay, it says Pentagon Chief Jim Mattis has told foreign ministers gathered in Vancouver of North Korea war plan. It says U.S. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis told participants in a 20-nation ministerial meeting on North Korea that the United States has already prepared a war plan for the North in case diplomatic efforts fail. It says the source said Mattis made the remark at a welcome dinner in Vancouver on Monday for the foreign ministers and other officials from the countries including Japan, South Korea, and nations that backed the South in the 1950-53 Korean War. So, man, Mattis came out and said, well, talks don't work. We've got our plan.
The Chinese have been planning on evacuating people for a long time. So have the Russians.
Oh, yeah, and it came out that Japan is figuring got their plan up now on how to get people out, their nationals out of South Korea.
Yeah, taking boats over.
You know, Moon could be playing a game, too, with Kim. Maybe Moon knows this war is going to happen after the Olympics, too, and he's just playing along with Kim right now.
Keep your enemies close.
Yeah, exactly. You know, maybe he's not as stupid as people think. Maybe he's been told, hey, dude, don't get too friendly with this because we're going to blast these son of a bitches here at the end of the Olympics.
The more I think about what you guys were saying earlier, the more it sounds to me like a perfect scenario to kick it off. If South and North become all buddy-buddy all of a sudden, and after the Olympics they say, you know what, U.S., you've been great, but we don't need you anymore. Well, like like Dave said, that we're not going to let that happen if that means nothing else than ramping up the rhetoric and kicking off the Gulf of Tonkin incident or something. We'll have to kick it off then because, oh, darn, we didn't have time to get out if it comes down to that. So
it's easy as fuck when you got submarine-based missiles, man. I mean, you can launch them from anywhere. They can sneak those things in through the water anywhere. So the Gulf of Tonkin incident would be easy as hell to play. Just launch one of those things at some little town in South Korea and say, oh, it was Kim.
Well, did you hear that Trump gave the order to the defense ministry yesterday? He wants a new portable light nuke developed.
Make me another weapon that can kill people.
He wants more control.
Let's throw $50 million at it instead of feeding people and housing the homeless.
Yeah, this is what he said. This is what Trump said. Trump wants to make nuclear weapons easier to use, and his plan is a roadmap for nuclear war. This came out from the Business Insider the other day, and it was a leaked January 2018 draft of the Trump administration's nuclear posture review due out in February. It says, while the document echoes the Obama administration's nuclear modernization plan, it contains major differences and is laced with dark perspective. One reversal is a push for additional flexible and low-yield nuclear weapons in the U.S. arsenal. One U.S. senator said the document's contents are a roadmap for nuclear war.
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy right there. And he wants better control of the button.
Yep.
So right there is saying he wants complete access of low and high output nukes. So however he wants to use them. So this man here has got mushrooms on his mind.
They're all fucking bloodthirsty, man. They're just bloodthirsty. And wasn't it, isn't there like an anniversary today or yesterday of Johnson telling everybody about the military-industrial complex and how they were going to wind up taking over the fucking planet and trying to kill everybody on the planet because it served their best interest? Wasn't there an anniversary like 80 years ago or something like that, 90 years ago? I don't know, man.
Yeah, yep.
Was that Eisenhower or Johnson?
Eisenhower, I guess it was, yeah.
Well, you know, this came out, too, today. It says, military quietly prepares for a last resort, war with North Korea. It says, across the military, officers and troops are quietly preparing for a war they hope will not come. At Fort Bragg in North Carolina last month, a mix of 48 Apache gunships and Chinook cargo helicopters took off in an exercise that practiced moving troops and equipment under live artillery fire to assault targets. 2 days later, in the skies above Nevada, 119 soldiers from the Army's 82nd Airborne Division parachuted out of C-17 military cargo planes under cover of darkness in an exercise that simulated a foreign invasion. Next month, at Army posts across the United States, more than 1,000 reserve soldiers will practice how to set up so-called mobilization centers that move military forces overseas in a hurry. And beginning next month with the Winter Olympics in the South Korean town of Pyeongchang, The Pentagon plans to send more special operation troops to the Korean Peninsula, an initial step toward what some officials say ultimately could be the formation of a Korea-based task force similar to the types that are fighting in Iraq and Syria. Others say the plan was strictly related to counterterrorism efforts.
War.
Well, they already got the Marines trained. There was 300, and the Commandant of the Marine Corps was there telling them that another 3,000 was coming. They were up in the northern part up by Russia training, so they were winter training. So that's probably the group that'll be coming down to South Korea as Special Forces, those Marines.
Well, thank God that's not on the internet so that we can keep that all secret from the people overseas that we're going to go kill shortly.
And we don't even hide it anymore.
It must have been AI let it out. It wasn't me.
This is just ridiculous, man.
You know, this came out too. Says the U.S. Army has intensified the training soldiers to receive the FIM-92 Stinger, a man-portable air defense missile. After nearly 15 years of moving away from the weapon, the Army just brought it back.
Oh, Joseph just brought up something
back
really.
The Stinger addresses a self-identified gap that the Army created and has recognized. It says we're getting back to the basics and providing short-range air defense to maneuver units.
Listen to this. Joseph Hawley just brought up something really, really interesting in the chat room. The Koreas could hold athletes as hostages. Then the countries would not only accept unification by barter or release, and it avoids heavy bloodshed.
We'd probably just kill the athletes these days.
I'm just saying that's another really good theory, Joseph. Thanks for that one. Damn.
Oh, it is. But, you know, if these people want war bad enough, they'll just sacrifice them.
Right. Well, you know, if they come out and say unified Korea now, that's going to lead to war too, because the U.S. is not going to have that. No. Move all your troops out by this time next week. That's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen, you know.
So I don't know, man. We're just postulating, sitting here waiting. That's all we can do. Watch the QAnon drops and try to decipher what's going on there. And listen to all the people that's got the inside knowledge and the inside interviews, and that's all we can do, man. That's all.
Well, this is out from South Korea. 2 hours ago, this came out.
Heads up, Dan. Coming to you next.
And it says, North Korea crisis, South to continue talks with clear eyes. So South Korea says they will continue high-level talks with North Korea with clear eyes amid global warnings that Pyongyang might be playing for time to continue its nuclear arms program. It says, we have to make the most of the opportunity, South Korean foreign minister said today. The two Koreas earlier agreed to march under a unified Korea flag at next month's Winter Olympics in the South. The talks come as the U.S. and its allies vowed to keep pressure on the North. And it says on Wednesday, Secretary of State Tillerson says sanctions were really starting to hurt, expressing confidence that the pressure would eventually force the North to the negotiating table over its nuclear and ballistic missile programs. Also on Wednesday, Japanese foreign minister said the world should not be blinded by Pyongyang's recent charm offensive. It is not time to ease pressure or to reward North Korea, Japan said. The fact that North Korea is engaging in dialogue could be interpreted as proof that the sanctions are working. Now, Japan also came out and says, I think we understand North Korea better than anybody, having dealt with North Korea for decades, having had series of discussions off and on.
Who said that?
Had any significant engagement.
Who said that?
Japan.
Oh, okay. I had no idea that they were involved in talks over the last 50 years and shit. I don't remember hearing anything about that.
No. And it says, Japan says, we haven't had any significant engagement in the recent past, but this is an opportunity. It says you can have all kinds of theories of why they are here at talks. It says there are obviously calculations going on the part of the North Korean decision makers as to their actions, but in the end, we have to make the most of it. Japan says South Korea and its allies were very much on the same page regarding the longer term, the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. And the foreign minister says Seoul wanted more humanitarian aid to be sent to North Korea as sanctions were beginning to take effect. So that's what Japan was saying.
Yeah, I just got an invite from my friend Ray Chang. We're going to have him on the show one of these times. He's over there. I'm not sure what part of that peninsula area he's over in. He Ray Chang. That's the one I sent you the video of him riding a motorcycle.
Right. He's over in South Korea somewhere.
Yeah. That's my brother, man.
Right on.
Yeah, we'll have to get him on there. That's some insight right on the ground, man, guy, right there.
Right on. Yeah, I don't know what time it is over there right now, but if he's up there.
Well, he just sent a message. He just sent a message here a little bit ago.
Very cool.
But,
hit him up with it, and we'll try to get it lined up over the next couple of weeks or so.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. That way we'd have him right there to tell us what's really going on.
Inside dope. All right, here we come, Dan. Are you ready? You got a topic picked out you want to try to wrestle with while we got the mics open and shit for the next half hour or so?
I don't know. It seems like from time to time, minute to minute, every day, there's something I want to talk about. But in the
Start
end,
rattling them off, man.
It's God, I don't know.
Start rattling something off, man. We'll take a hold of it and start hashing it out and shit. Then you can just go down the list and tick them off.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
it can be any kind of rat hole.
I've spent, it's hard for me because even in this true community, I spent the last 3 years trying to get people to realize they don't live on a fucking floating ball in space,
And it's become a joke.
Even now, it's this whole. I've been trying to get people to pay attention to this QAnon, and it may be just a matter of perspective, but it's seeming more and more to me like every day that truly that's what this is all about. That's what the war is all about. You look back in history, every time this topic has come up, some major world event goes down so that it shuts it up again. They regain control. It's just, I don't know. And with all this QAnon shit, I'm noticing the pattern. Oh, now all of a sudden it starts out, Trump's this great savior. Well, if they're bullshitting everybody about space. People, we have not been to space. We haven't been to the moon. We haven't been anywhere but 200 miles up off this rock. It is not a ball spinning in space. And until people can come to that, and this is not conspiracy theory, you can go out and recognize these facts for yourself and just pay attention instead of just. So really, I'm just getting tired of being ignored, and when it's all based off that. That's the basis of all this, the New World Order, all of it. That's what it's based off of, in my opinion. And if people just want to keep ignoring it, and I don't know, it's frustrating.
Yeah, but once you got to come to the realization that very few people are going to find the truth that's going to save their souls, man. It's just that's all prophesized. That's in the Bible, right in front of you. When you read it, it's right there. Very few people are going to get it. So,
and that's why I had to come to that realization, because I cannot understand how people can sit on YouTube day after day after day and say, they lie to us about this, they lie to us about that, they're poisoning us here, they're killing us there, they're this, that, this, that, this, that. Well, but space is fucking real. They wouldn't lie about that shit. What are you, retarded? What? The earth is flat? What? It's like
they're so fucking asleep, dude. They're so asleep, and I can't. There's a part of me that can't blame them, because I was just that asleep a decade ago, dude. Less than a decade ago when it comes to flat Earth. Less than 2 years ago when it comes to the flat Earth. So, I almost Lance and I got into a fight on the mic over that. I almost hung up on him when he brought flat Earth to me. It almost ended our friendship. I shit you not, Lance. Tell the man.
Well, I just watched the video and brought it up. So,
but I was fucking livid on the mic with you, dude. I was that close to hanging up on you. Swear to God. And I was like, okay, if you can give me one thing that'll make me stop and pause and give this any kind of serious thought, then send it to me right now. And he sent me that flat Earth thing from Eric Dubé, the 200 proofs video. And after I watched that, I was convinced. After the first 10 minutes of that video, I was convinced.
Well,
So
Dan and I talked today. Well, chatted back and forth on Skype,
yeah,
and we come to conclusion as history has shown. Every time the movement of flat Earth is speculated or talked about throughout society, there's been a major event to upset it. Well, now that the internet is here, and you know who controls the internet, that's gone to a computer, which is feeding on all of our information and everything we do. Thank you, Mr. Chow Chow. What the hell's his name? The guy in Oregon, or whatever the hell his name is. You know what I'm talking about. I can't. Oh, bot, whatever it is. Anyway, all this goes into the computer, and as soon as they got the chatter of this flat Earth, all of a sudden we started having multiple events to occur. So this computer has control, and what it's doing, which I believe is Satan himself, okay, because he has to provide himself with all the data of all of us, everything we know. He will know each and every one of us, right down to our names, place, and what we like and dislike.
because he's running shit down here right now. You know, he's running shit down here right now.
Yeah,
Satan's completely. Yep. He's got control of all the people that got control. He don't have control of the earth, but he's got control of the people that are in control. So there you go.
Think about what's that you use? All these media outlets, Facebook. It's got all your identities, so face recognition, family recognitions, all this data is going right to him. Okay, but people say, how could that be? Well, because he is Satan.
That's cool because I flip him off every chance I get.
Yes, and he is drawing that information because he's going to come to foreground here real soon. Dan and I were talking about that today. And the reality is, this thing with Q asks the questions and have you go find the answers. Well, check this out. How is everything else in progression? Everything that you...
But he's asking...
...the computer is a question asked.
But some of the questions that Q is asking is actually doing a lot of good. It's waking a lot of people up that are looking. When he made a couple of comments about Chelsea Clinton wearing her cross upside down when she goes out in public and blah blah blah. I mean, he's asking some of the right questions. I have no idea who it is. I don't know if it's an insider with Trump. I don't know if it's an AI algorithm that's dropping all this shit. I don't know. It could be some 14-year-old pimple-faced kid on fucking Reddit for all we know. You know what I'm saying? But there's certain things that are happening regardless of what's going on and who's in charge. There's certain things that are happening that that are shaking the tree all the way up to the top.
Right.
And that's regardless of how it's happening, that's a good thing. It's got to be divine intervention because there's some evil motherfuckers in charge unless they're tossing each other under the bus for a reason. But I don't know, man.
Because everybody questioned how in the world could Satan take control and that much power. Okay, we already know he cannot enter a body that has a soul. As long as you have a soul, your soul can change its mind and give itself to the Lord, but you cast him out. So therefore, I, in my opinion, folks, he is going to take the form of a robot, okay? A robotic like this Sophia or whatever her name is, or any sophisticated device that they're developing. And he's going to take on that form, and he's going to be what he is.
Are you talking about the Antichrist?
I'm talking about the Antichrist, correct.
I don't know if he's going to come back as a robot. I don't know if he's going to show himself as a robot. I don't know about all that. There's a lot of stupid motherfuckers right now that'll turn themselves over to Satan and let him come back and, let anything enter their body as whatever. You got those people that hang around Marina Abramovich or whatever the fuck her name is, those baby eating whatever. There's a lot of people that'll just say, "Take me, Satan."
Yeah, but their main drive, and they don't got enough gigabyte RAM to make them what he has to put through it. They'd fry.
I don't know, man. If he's a fallen angel, he's almost he's got all the wisdom that God had when it comes to the earth and what's going on down here, because he was like his right hand for the creation. Yeah. I don't know. He is the master of lies, dude. He can, I'm pretty sure he can just about have his will down here at this point.
Well, I'm going to let Dan cue on this because this is what we were talking about, right, Dan?
Right
yeah,
on.
I think the way I'm looking at it is, as I look back and see how things are playing out, why did they name Sophia Sophia? Who else do they call Sophia? Mother Earth, the New Age movement,
Gaia. The Gaia thing.
So you're introducing that frame of mind subconsciously into it. You've got this. People all over the world are using this beast internet, which Satan controls. I'm convinced of.
Yep.
That it's waking everybody. So what is Satan going to do? He's going to present himself. What does the Bible say? He's going to present himself. So the point I'm trying to get is too many people are distrustful of men. Period. Too many of us know Trump's full of shit as Obama. So what would be what they could represent to people as the all-knowing, the new, oh my God, it's a robot. It knows everything. It's got all the answers. So I can see that scenario playing out.
The whole D-Wave, Jordy Rose, who's the cat that's actually started the AI church or whatever online that's supposed to try to create some AI deity. Who's that?
Yeah.
Paul something or other. I can't remember what his name is. He was affiliated with Facebook for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get where you're going with that now. I get where you're going with that. They're gonna divulge this super algorithm that's all knowing, all seeing, because it's plugged into the interwebs and it sees all of your information. It knows all of your troubles. It's going to help everybody because it has access to all the data.
Exactly.
I got you.
Exactly.
And
all you gotta do is put on these 3D goggles. All you gotta do is put on these 3D goggles and take this drug, and you can just go into our world.
Yeah. And people are already finding, like you said, people are already ready to jump. People are already getting lost in that fucking virtual world shit.
Shit, yeah, dude.
I mean, the Second Life shit people spend, that's literally become their life. I mean, they're ready to go. They're ready to just be lost in computer land and world and just, it's bad, man.
They want that. What do they call? What did that one dude from Facebook call it? The instant dopamine hit that you get from somebody liking your comment or giving you a thumbs up or commenting on your shit. You see people walking around constantly. They're just looking straight down at their phone. They'll walk out in fucking traffic in front of a dump truck because they're checking out their fucking phone.
Right. Did I tell you, I got those 3 videos from a gal in Ukraine, and they were all computer simulated. As soon as I got those I don't know that woman from Adam. As soon as I put the AI videos up about, them taking control of the missile launches and all this crap, the false flag, I got that sent to my sub, into my feed. And I thought, who is this person? And here it is, all computer stuff. It's the number one, zeros and ones and all that stuff. But she works for a university in Ukraine, and and I'm thinking, oh wow, where did this come from?
Probably launch codes. People over there are sick of it too. They're like, fuck it, send them.
I mean, this is where we're at, friends. I know you're all probably thinking, hell, this whole panel's lost its frickin' mind. But, you sit back and think about this, how much control this mechanizing of the internet and this circuitry has over our minds and our desires and compassions every day. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
There's a couple people in the
form or another.
A couple people in the chat are saying that Sophia is Gnostic and Greek for wisdom and wise. So that's the meaning of the name Sophia. Yeah. She was like the mother god. That's back in those days. She was like the mother god. She was Mother Earth, Gaia, the god Gaia. Gaia, Sophia.
Wasn't by chance.
Yeah, no, not at all. And this D-Wave that they're coming out with, man, that thing, I'm telling you, it is a straight portal to the fucking other dimensions. That's how they're getting their information, because that thing is connected into the interweb too, and it knows just about everything. That was their intention of that machine when they started developing D-Wave, whoever gave them the technology, like Prometheus gave us fire, right? One of the fallen angels. Whoever gave them that technology, that was its intention, was to be as wise as 7 billion people, whatever the fucking population of the planet was. It was to keep up and stay as wise as everyone on the planet. That's why they want everybody hooked up. That's what they want this whole 5G network thing. It's not just for the United States. It's for every nation. They want 5G to cover every nation so that they can track every fucking body.
Well, we were talking about that. Remember, we were finding if we could find particles in our snow. And you got them super magnets. And you showed me a video where you're able to use those magnets between your flesh and bone, and also through an inch of wood into the metal support inside.
Yep.
They've got a super magnet. What do you suppose these magnets are about? Are they trying to draw open a door of some sort? I mean, we are a magnetic world, okay? We are a circuitry of electronics.
Yeah, it's electric. Yep.
And they're going to disturb it. Is that not what you see?
I know that when they start up CERN, it actually has an effect on the magnetic current on the Earth. It makes, there's a big dip in the current on the Earth when they start that thing up. That's why they were afraid. Everybody, when they first started trying to wind it up, they were like, well, what if it starts a black hole or a wormhole or something like that? And they were like, fuck it, turn it on anyway.
Well, I've heard somebody proclaim it's the power use is no more than a light bulb, but that's not what it's about. It's not that it's so explosive in its use. It's what it creates that's very explosive and uncontrollable.
They had to build
a bit of that crap, right?
They had to build the largest power plant on the planet to run this thing, and then it wasn't big enough. They had to close down for 10 months while they built another one that was even bigger, so that they could even fire this thing up the way they wanted to. You know? And
it's well known that they built this over some kind of old witchery foundation that was underneath it.
Yep. Some pagan site. Yep. Dan, are you trying to chime in here, brother? I see you lighting up over there.
No, I was just grinding my tobacco.
Well, chime in, man. I know you got something you want to add to this whole conversation.
Yeah, it's just getting more and more pressing to me to tell people, and I know it's funny coming from me of all people, but is to get right with God, because this insanity, the more we ain't going to stop it. We're just along for the ride. And
yep.
You know, I don't know. None of it makes any sense. You look at the world from a logical perspective, and it's enough to drive you nuts anymore, because it's just insanity. And what other explanation can it be other than it's just demonic spirits running shit, you know?
It's so blatantly in front of your face now that people that deny it are just you're lost, man. You're lost. If you can't see that there is a satanic entity running shit, then you're fucking blind. You're more blind than I can describe, man. At this point, I just shake my head at them. You know, if you can't see it by now, I shake my head at you. If you can't see the chemtrails in the sky every day, I shake my head at you. You know, I want to slap the teeth out of your fucking mouth for being that stupid. Still, when you've got a fucking cell phone in your hand that has everything you could ever want to find out about at your fingertips, and you remain that stupid, that's by choice.
Well, I would like to know how many houses in California during that big burn, this last burn, had these new finagling light or power meters on them.
The smart meter shit, yeah.
Right. Go ahead.
The smart meters you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
They have the power to shortwave the whole system, burn the house down. I'm just wondering. I'm just throwing that out there because it's awful funny how those houses burnt in intense heat. How did it happen?
Hey, I want to throw something else in there. There's another channel that I follow. His name is DIY Camper. The guy's name's Kevin that runs the channel. He's only got about 18,000 subscribers. But anyway, He put a video out several weeks back. It's probably been three or so weeks back, maybe 4, about the California fires, and he brought up an amazingly overlooked point. When you see overhead shots, drone footage of these burnout home areas, these rural or these suburban areas where the houses are right next to each other and the entire fucking neighborhood is burnt to the ground. There is nothing on the streets. It looks as though, or the driveways, or the sidewalks, it looks as though they went through there with a street sweeper and cleaned everything off the streets and just left these big humping, burned out piles of rubble up in the fucking yards. And this was only days after the fire went through, right? So if these Santa Ana winds, these 70, 80, 100-mile-an-hour winds have been blowing through there and fueling these fires, where's all the shit that it blew around? The streets. I'm serious. Go look, people. If you don't believe me, go look. Pull up the aerial shots of the area, and you'll notice it. Every fucking picture that he put up on there, and he probably put up 30. The streets were clean. The driveways were clean. The sidewalks were clean.
That's impossible. It don't happen.
Yeah.
I was sitting there, I was looking, I was like, oh my God. Because he's the first person I've ever seen say anything about it. DIY Camper on YouTube. He's a cool cat. You ought to go check him out. It just blew me away, man. It blew me away. I was like, wow, and nobody's fucking talking about this at all, neither. And I mean, you think that somebody would pick up on it, as many people as were poo-pooing everything that was going, it's fucking lasers, it's dew weapons, it's whatever, you figure somebody else would have picked up on it, but he was the first I heard say anything. So there's a rabbit hole for you people to jump in.
I've heard, Jeff at Break Free has talked about it, that they always seem to get these people out here to jump to the most ridiculous conclusion right away
instead of Occam's razor.
And instead of short and smart meters, or he's made the point I could walk around looking like a gas meter checker with a flamethrower or a torch and just start. It was obviously something a little more complicated, but his point is there's many easier explanations than it was a direct energy weapon to go right away. But obviously, like you point out, when you look at those scenes, something's not right. Like you say, there should be ash and char and blown
trees
all over the street.
Yeah, all over it. There was 80 and 100 mile an hour. That's hurricane force shit, man. You people have seen it'd blow boats up in the fucking trees and everything else, man. Come on. What something's not right with this whole picture. Something's not right with this whole picture. And as far as the smart meters go, they got all the technology inside of them. What's to say that there's not some kind of dead man switch where all they got to do is on a fucking keyboard and the thing just shorts itself off and starts the side of your fucking house on fire?
Right. Well, if you look at some of that molten aluminum, that was actual motors and transmissions burning out of them vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
You know how much heat that takes? Damn, guys. There's nothing natural about this. And being such an isolated burn, as Jim is saying here, and the guy that did the video, those burns are isolated, okay? How in the hell do you do that when the wind is blowing and not char the streets and not damage anything else? I heard somebody say, well, that's because there's moisture in the trees. Bullshit. Okay?
That shit, yeah. When flames are licking that high, it'll burn the moisture out of it, just like a fireplace. You can throw a wet log on a fireplace. If the fireplace is already burning, it'll burn the moisture out of the log, and the log will burn.
Moisture in the trees when California's been in a fucking drought for how many years? How much moisture could be in the trees?
Well, no, it's not in a drought. Down south it is, but up and around Oroville and shit, it's not. There's no drought going on up there. That dam was about ready to.
How much moisture the thing would have to be waterlogged, like a fucking sponge.
Oh, right. Yeah, absolutely. But no, I've seen aerial shots of the trees burn up too. That was only in select locations where it wasn't burning trees and it was only burning the house, which makes me think that there was something to go on in the electrical system. Yeah. So there's such a thing. It could always
be like everything else. Don't let a good crisis go to waste. Maybe they have the technology and we're able to take out some neighborhoods in addition to what was burnt. it's hard telling these days.
Yep.
And people are up.
There's some people that say there's some of these places up in the hill. There was no cable going into them. So how can they get the information into them? There's DOPL. It's data over power line. If you got a power line run into your house and you got smart appliances, that's how they send their shit out. You don't have to have Wi-Fi. They just have to be plugged in. They can send data right through the copper.
Yeah.
So that's how that happens. Holy shit, we made it through a whole show.
See how wisely that takes it all back to the Satan,
Yeah.
purpose, AI.
He's been in charge of this, because it's such a, it's working against him on certain areas. There's Christians out there that are working against him over the interweb and shit. But yeah, he's got complete control of it. The largest sites on the internet are still porn to this day. Of all the shit you can go on there and check out, man, the largest, some of them are larger than YouTube.
Oh, I just read today. It's women getting addicted to porn now. They're
going to come out with men silicone bots for them. Big stiffies that can turn on and off.
And that's what I was talking with Vaughn today about this. Again, this whole Hollywood agenda. Look at it playing out. It's the men shouldn't be in power. The push for the female to take control of things. I mean, it's there's a lot of agendas on playing right now.
Look at Bradley Manning's alter ego, Chelsea, running for Senate. That's transgender put in your face right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever. And I've got friends to this day that swear to God they woke up, and if you say anything anti rainbow flag or whatever, they're like, well, that's just you got to be nice to those people. What? Go ahead, be nice to them. Let me know how it works out for you when your kid's got purple hair. So, okay, whatever. Hey, we made it. Vaughn, thanks for coming on. Dave, thanks for coming on. You too. Lance chimed in again, man. That's 2 days and that's 2 shows in a row. We're going to start getting on some topics that you're going to be excited to talk about. So make sure you keep your shit together when you're over there. Dan, it's going to be so good having you on, dude. Next, you got to go get your pen and paper out and start making, a little list of topics and stuff so we can start going through them. And,
all right.
And I'll devote more time to that rabbit hole stuff because I love talking about rabbit hole stuff. I love talking about the news too, and everything that Dave puts out. We've got to talk about that for at least an hour a show because shit's moving quick. Shit's moving quick when it comes to world events. So. But then I want to go from.
That's why I appreciate your show and Dave because he's who I go to keep up on that stuff, and it's all related. So you got to pay attention to it all.
And I know you're not on any other social media, Facebook or Twitter or anything like that. But if you just want to get a Twitter account and follow Dave on Twitter, it's he puts everything out there, So yeah, it's very, very cool.
Appreciate it.
Hey. Tell him what your Twitter. It's
In-game show WW3.
Yeah, in-game show WW3, just like the Facebook page.
I remember watching you years ago on YouTube.
Yeah, I used to be. I made videos for like 3 or 4 years straight, and I had good audience going, and I just got burned out and shit canned it all.
I hear you.
He still does shows on the network.
I'll have a show. I do like a live show now about maybe once a month. Other than that, I just concentrate on my Facebook group and my Twitter. That's about it.
Is it still Cam Zone? They still calling it the same thing?
Yeah, I still go on there when I can get on there. I have a hard time connecting to it these days.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All
right, guys.
I wish JR would have been on here because Dan and I were going to ask him something about the Queen, but we'll pass on that one for right now.
He usually comes on Saturdays. Saturdays is his day to make it. And Charlie was supposed to come on tonight, but evidently he got stuck at work. So I'll give him shit on the text as soon as I get off of here. But hey, I'm going to hang up on you 4, and I'm going to play the outro music and my outro. So we'll see you guys on Saturday.
Have a good one, guys.
See you guys. Thanks.
Peace.
Okie dokie. Got hung up on them. So now I get to pull my Skype thing or my. Okay. Yep. Here we go. Outro stuff. And I came up with a new one. The new outro for me, instead of love, peace, and cookies, it's going to be me telling you guys, if you haven't found your way to God, now is the time to do it. Seek his face. Get to know Jesus Christ. It doesn't have to be religious. It just has to be a relationship. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything special. You just got to look up and talk and mean it in your heart. Seek the face of God if you haven't already. And now, love, peace, and cookies. See you folks. Saturday.
Jesus Christ is the only one that's going to be able to get it together. We're not asking you to believe us. All we're asking you to do is, in the honesty of your own heart, check it out. See if the words that Jesus Christ spoke don't jive with history. You give it an honest evaluation. You give God an honest chance to bust into your heart, and I guarantee you, you'll not be disappointed.
Please don't trust us. Don't believe a word we say. Look, investigate every single thing you think is fake. Evaluate and question anything you think sounds crazy. Don't delay. Make some notes and start today. After you first pick up a Bible, look into what it claims. See for certain that you can find truth in Jesus' name. Then dig deeper and get with friends and study scriptures. Start to build on that foundation to see the bigger picture. Go to be a witness, fellow believer, brother, sister in Christ, with eyes wide open, focus with new sight. Know your life will not be perfect, in fact, far from it. But know that in the end, that through him you'll reach the summit. Let go of the external and conquer every hurdle, and learn to live for him, a decision that's eternal. It's not about religion or a church or doing works. It's more about admitting you yourself are falling short, believing in his plan, and know he understands, and see that he forgives you and he loves you where you stand. I know it sounds too easy, too simple of a deal, but those who have experienced his love know it's for real. A solid rock to stand on that no one can refute. The way out of the darkness in connection to the truth. Our fortress and our shelter, our refuge and redeemer. Exceeds all that we need. He's our everlasting savior.
I prayed and I said, if you're real, take this stuff from me because I'm gonna die. And I was actually doing the drugs while I was praying. Within a couple of weeks, I had an encounter of the love of God that is so real that it made me turn from wanting to hurt myself to wanting to love myself and my daughter and to just follow.
You've heard the story told about the man within the hole who tried to find his way out through every means you know. He tried through meditations to earn his own salvation and trust in holy men and practice all religions. He then began to think that maybe he did not exist and all of life was an illusion. But in the end, there he sits. So he fasted and he prayed and he did it every day and thought through his devotion and his works he'd find a way. He tried for many years to climb out of this hole and counted on himself and his own power and control. And after so much struggle and time spent in vain, he cried out to his maker to save him from the pain. Suddenly there came a man who seemed to understand. He was different from the others. He said he had a plan. He lowered down himself into the bottom of the hole and carried out the man from the darkness that's below. He said to trust in him. This man with such concerns, such love and such compassion, asking nothing in return. The one who made the difference, the one who gave a hand, the one who made it happen. When you can't, you know we can. He pulled us from the hole through his mercy and his grace. We were sinners in the dark and alone he took our place. His truth is all exclusive but also all inclusive. The people that he saves proves his word to be conclusive.
I realized that in light of the torrent of evidence flowing in the direction of the truth of Christianity, it would require more faith for me to maintain my atheism than to become a Christian.